Hey guys, it's Lord of the Pogs. Someone asked me to do a video about Bigfoot, so today I'm wearing my spaghetti shirt. Spaghetti. It's a Yeti made out of spaghetti. Spaghetti. I'm not exactly a Bigfoot enthusiast, and I feel like it's one of those things that gets talked about a lot, almost to the point of being overdone, so I wasn't quite sure what angle to take. But I want to address Bigfoot in a way I think hasn't been done before. If you're not familiar with the Fermi Paradox, it's the conflict between lack of evidence for extraterrestrial life and high estimates for their existence. There have been many attempts to explain this, such as intelligent extraterrestrial beings are extremely rare, the lifetime of a civilization is relatively short, or due to the size of the universe, two civilizations would be unlikely to mate even if many developed at the same time. There's a lot more to go into about the Fermi Paradox, like the Drake equation, empirical evidence, or hypothetical explanations for the paradox. But the basic idea here is that humans have continued to believe in the existence of extraterrestrial life, even though there's a severe lack of clear evidence, and have even attempted to come up with explanations for the lack of evidence. There's actually a lot of things that we assume to be true, even amidst the lack of clear evidence for it. Most of us believe that the Earth is round and revolves around the Sun, even though we have never directly observed such things. We put our faith in the scientists who explain it to us. In a similar fashion, we believe that there are cryptids out there, like Sasquatch and the Yeti, based in part on a pre-existing notion that it makes sense for them to exist. This is where I came up with the Bigfoot Paradox. Basically, the Bigfoot Paradox is that the belief in Bigfoot comes not from empirical evidence, but from the belief that it makes sense for it to exist despite the lack of empirical evidence. Alongside the notion that it makes sense for it to exist, many people find themselves misidentifying explainable natural phenomena or planting evidence where there is none to prove something that is otherwise unprovable. There are two types of Bigfoot believers. There's those who genuinely search for evidence and report it when it is legitimately found, and there's those who generate false evidence and report it as found. The first type is either never proven as either definitive or not, or proven to have been a misidentification. The second type is usually always proven to be a hoax perpetrated by the one who reported to have found it. Many genuine, well-meaning attempts have been made to uncover real evidence for Bigfoot's existence. The most famous of these is arguably the Patterson-Gimlin film, known popularly as the Patterson film. The Patterson film was shot in 1967 at Bluff Creek in Six Rivers National Forest, about 25 miles northwest of Orleans, California, and runs for just under 60 seconds. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin set out in the summer of 1967 to film a documentary about cowboys being led by a Native American tracker in search of Bigfoot, and they chose the area they did because of Bigfoot sightings being reported there in the past, and because Patterson himself had discovered Bigfoot tracks there in 1958. The creature in the film was sighted when it was about 25 feet away from Patterson, who jumped off his horse and got his camera out as it was walking away. It was about 100 feet away when he started running towards it and got within 80 feet before it disappeared. The entire encounter lasted about 2 minutes. Allegations of a hoax have persisted for years, but no one has ever been able to prove that it was a hoax. But no one has ever provided a Bigfoot body either. Roger Patterson died from cancer in 1972 and maintained until the day he died that the creature on the film was real. In 1998, Bob Hieronymus came forward and claimed to have been the figure seen in the film, and in 2022, Philip Morris claimed that his costume and stage prop company, Morris Costumes, custom-made a gorilla costume that was used. However, the suit that Bob Hieronymus claims to have worn was described differently than the costume Philip Morris claims to have made. Bob Hieronymus said the costume he wore was a two-piece suit with a top and bottom and the hands and feet attached, all made out of horsehide, and that it weighed about 25 pounds. But Philip Morris says the costume his company made was made out of a light synthetic material with a zipper in the back and separate attachments for the hands and feet. We may never know for sure whether the creature in the Patterson film was really Bob Hieronymus or another person in a costume, or an actual Sasquatch, or something else. Other Bigfoot hunters go out of their way to perpetrate hoaxes, and they stand behind their claims until they're found out. Perhaps the best known hoaxer is Rick Dyer, a full-time Bigfoot hunter whose hoaxes have appeared in both Time magazine and Discovery News. In 2008, he claimed to have a Bigfoot carcass in his possession and presented it at a conference open to the press. When it was discovered that the carcass was actually a gorilla costume filled with roadkill, he claimed that he fabricated the hoax after a government agency confiscated the real carcass. In 2012, he claimed to have another Bigfoot carcass in his possession, and he charged people to see it, drawing in over $500,000 before admitting that it was a fake made out of latex and camel hair produced for a documentary about Bigfoot. Since then, he has claimed that he does have an actual Bigfoot carcass, but for reasons unknown, he can't produce it. Is it possible that Bigfoot exists? Absolutely. Remember that gorillas were only discovered 150 years ago. Before anthropologist Paul Duchaillu brought dead gorillas back to the UK in 1861, they were just a legend, and there was little more evidence for their existence than there is for Bigfoot today. In fact, we have more evidence for the existence of Bigfoot than anyone had for the existence of gorillas before they were discovered. We have the Patterson film, as well as numerous other footages and photographs that have never been definitively proven to be hoaxes. All they had were legends and drawings. I will not be convinced of Bigfoot's existence until I am presented with a carcass. However, I am open to the possibility. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a tip. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that little bell in the corner to get notifications on more videos like this one.